Hello. Hi, world. Be careful. Be careful.
Cute.
Yeah.
Look at those little tiny feet.
See, he's not a chunker.
Good morning. It is baby day. My scheduled C-section is at 9:30 this morning. So it is currently 6:36. We're just getting ready, waiting for my mom to come pick up the boys, and then we are heading to the hospital. We are going to capture as much as we can of this whole experience on camera. Can't film much of the C-section, but we will bring you guys along wherever we can. Welcome to Dean's birth vlog. I just wanted to jump in 3 weeks later and just shed some light on what the whole experience was like. With everything going on in the world today, the birth experience wasn't exactly normal or what we typically expected it to be, and that was a little bit tough to deal with. 1 week before my scheduled C-section, the hospital called me to update me on their visitation policy. They said whoever comes with me for my C-section would be the only visitor that I'd be allowed to have, but that person could come and go, but nobody else could come interchangeably with that person. The main reason why that was hard to deal with was because my mom couldn't be there. This was already going to be a different experience having a C-section, only being able to have one person in the OR. My mom wasn't going to be able to be there for the birth, but now my mom wasn't even going to get to meet him until we were able to come home from the hospital. I was already having a lot of anxiety about how everything going on in the world was going to affect this birth, and how this whole time we've been so excited for it. We knew that like this pregnancy was way healthier than any of my other pregnancies, that we were hoping that this birth would be really different and that we would not have a NICU baby and we would really get to enjoy it all, and that was kind of just putting a damper on what we had expected. Come to the morning of my C-section, I filmed the clip that you would have already seen saying, you know, that it was baby day, that we were about to go to the hospital. We literally carried all of our bags down, all of my bags down, because Billy wasn't going to be staying overnight with me. Putting our shoes on, grabbing a jacket, and about to walk out the door, and my phone rang. So I answered because it was the hospital calling. And they called to let me know that there has been yet another update to their visitation policy, And now whoever comes with me is my only visitor still, but they cannot leave. If they leave, they cannot come back. So all of the arrangements that we had made for the next 3 days, expecting to be in the hospital for 3 days, of who was going to watch the boys, who was going to be where, when Billy was going to come, when Billy was going to go, we had to very quickly refigure it because we were supposed to be at the hospital in 30 minutes. So I made him go upstairs and pack a bag. Meanwhile, I'm talking to my mom, and I'm telling my mom, like, well, this changes everything. Like, can you do this? Can you do that? And we could have most of it figured out with my mom's help, but my mom was still working. So my mom did have to work on Saturday. So my mom had to reach out to my sister, and luckily my sister was more than willing to come over on Saturday while my mom had to go to work and watch the boys. What ended up working out is we actually did end up having somebody available to watch the boys both throughout the day and stay at our house with them overnight for my entire hospital stay. Another thing that was nice is my doctor came in and she said that what the hospital's plans were is that if there weren't any complications, they were shortening C-section stays from 3 days to 2 days. So there was a possibility that we could go home sooner. So that was really good to know, and we were just crossing our fingers yet again to have a very healthy birth. So we were very, very lucky that Billy was able to stay with me the entire time. The hospital in Arizona that I gave birth at didn't have like a nursery. Like, nobody could take the baby so you could sleep or whatever. The baby was with you in the room the whole time. Now in our situation, of course, that wasn't necessarily the case because we did have both Liam and Hunter were in the NICU. But this hospital, as I was told going into it, did have a nursery, and there was a possibility of them taking the baby. We weren't really planning on using that, but it was interesting to have that as an option. But then we were actually told that the nursery was not taking babies unless they were needed to be taken for a medical reason. They also had us pretty strictly confined to our room. They kind of kept going back and forth where they wouldn't even let Billy go like down to the cafeteria and get food, or if we ordered like Uber Eats, they wouldn't let him go down and get it. So we really were kind of in our postpartum room the entire time that we were there, and it was kind of weird to just be like stuck in this little tiny room. When we had Liam and Hunter and when they were in the NICU, then like I would go down to the cafeteria with Billy and we would go eat breakfast down there, we would go grab lunch, we'd go grab a snack, we would go out into the waiting room, like we would be able to do all of these things. And this time, like, I literally did not leave the room. So with not being able to have any visitors, we did a lot of FaceTiming. We FaceTimed my mom a couple times every day, so the boys could see him, so she could see him, and that was kind of the new normal. Now, having been home, only my mom and dad have been able to meet Dean. So as I mentioned earlier, he is 3 weeks old today, and the only family that has met him is my mom and my dad. My mom still does come over once or twice a week and helps out and hangs out and sees the baby. And my dad actually just moved here from Arizona 2 weeks ago. So he stayed with us for a couple of days before his apartment was ready. So then he was able to meet Dean. But other than that, we have not seen anybody, and nobody has been able to meet him. So when everything is over, there will be a lot of introductions to be made. We have stay-at-home orders in place here in Ohio, and that's not really affecting us a whole lot because we wouldn't be going out, and I wouldn't be taking him out to stores or restaurants or anything like that. The hard thing is not being able to have people come over, and because we had a healthy baby, so she did discharge us on the second day. So he was born Friday morning, and Sunday afternoon we were able to go home.
milk shake. Go, go, go.
Go.
Yeah, you
Go.
want to fire?
Hi.
Hi,
Look what Daddy has.
baby.
Yeah, the baby. Come sit on the couch, okay?
I want her.
Look at this.
Good.
Look.
Good.
Didn't expect you to be so excited. I know you gotta ignore it.
Arms down, everything. Gotta be careful, bud, okay? Look at that.
Come on,
Yeah, how much there? Okay, I'm gonna give him the brother now, okay? Not so good, man.
Gotta be very careful, bud, okay?
Mama.
Okay, Grandma's turn. Who can actually? Oh, my turn. My turn, my turn. Oh my gosh, she's talking to you. Oh my gosh. Hi. Okay, boy. You did. You did the little boy, don't worry. Oh, no, put him. I want to hold him. He's so cute. Look at him, little tiny.
See, he's not a chunker. He's very small.
Aw, you like him, Hunter? It's so hard to laugh. It hurts so bad. Easy. I did want to talk a little bit about my experience having a C-section and a scheduled C-section nonetheless, especially because it was my first C-section and it is very different than a vaginal birth. I don't want to make this video 20 minutes long rambling on about that, so let me know down in the comments if you would like to hear about my experience with a scheduled C-section. Enjoy the rest of this footage, a little flashback to my pregnancy, watching my belly grow. We are very, very, very happy to have Dean here with our family. Given everything going on, he is definitely the light in our lives that we need right now, and he really helps us going through all of these troubled times. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.